Hey, Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast. Thank you for being part of the podcast.
The Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast.
And letting us be part of your day.
We do appreciate that. Every single time listening in, every single weekday we do the show just for you. And we appreciate you listening in and liking and following and subscribing and all the things, as Jen likes to say.
All the things.
Feel free to do all the things.
We have
lots
a
to go
lot
on
to talk about. Yes.
All right.
So many
like
things.
Professions that used to be highly respected, but now
not so much.
Not so much. And finally, we have Taylor Swift numbers. The final numbers are in from her Eras tour. It's pretty mind-blowing.
And what she's doing with some of the money, which is kind of cool.
We'll
tell you about a new trend called airport rules that has nothing to do with actually being at the airport. And if you do this one activity, it can reduce your risk of heart problems. And it's not exercise. I mean, you should exercise, but this other thing is pretty cool.
How about how to blow your nose correctly?
I mean, I blow my nose a lot. I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
I would have thought that was something we'd have been told long ago, but we can help you with that too if you're concerned about your nose blowing. Here we go. All right.
I can believe this number. I don't know about you, Curt. But...
We'll hold off on a number for just a second before we cover some of the other things here, if you don't mind.
All right.
Talking about Taylor Swift. Maybe you heard she was doing this little tiny tour that went on for like forever. Her Eras Taylor's Eras tour came to a close Sunday night up in Vancouver. That was the final show of the tour. And for the entire time, she had 10 million fans attend this since it kicked off. That was March 17th of 2023. And the money that was made, here you go, Jen.
You want me to say it?
I would love for you to say it.
Well, it's over $2 billion. It's $2,077,618,725 to be exact.
Down to the dollar. And that's billion with a B. $2 billion plus dollars.
Here's what surprised me is that the only tour to cross the $1 billion mark is Coldplay, their Music of Spheres tour. What?
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I mean, I know that they're popular, but I mean, some of it has to do, of course, with how long the tour was. I mean, if you tour for 10 years, or whatever, but Coldplay crossed the $1 billion mark as well. And I was surprised that Elton John's Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour did not quite get to the $1 billion mark. He made $939 million.
Yeah. What I love about Taylor, first of all, when she went into every city, she made pretty generous donations to nonprofits. I loved that. That's number one. Number two, at the end of the tour, she handed out, I think it was just over $197 million in bonuses to everybody on her tour. Everyone from the truck drivers to the caterers, instrument techs, merch team, lighting, sound, production staff, of course, the dancers and band members, like everybody.
How cool is that?
I love that. I just love that it's literally every single person.
Right. And that's, and the thing is that haters going to hate, right? But they're going to say, well, she made so much money. What's the big deal? It's like, that's a huge deal.
One of my friends posted something. She took her daughter to the tour in Vancouver, to the show in Vancouver, one of the shows. And I can't remember all the exact words. It was a beautiful post because it was like, at this show, it was, these mostly women. There's definitely some guys there. But with her being with her daughter and noticing all the other moms with their daughters, it's like empowering women and people in glitter and being themselves and loving life. And Taylor's earned this. Like, she's worked her butt off. None of it's like come easy. She started just like every other musician, in a little club, playing her guitar, got discovered, but she works hard, and
absolutely.
Good for her.
And that is frustrating when people are like, I've had enough. I've heard enough about Taylor Swift. So she's just a spoiled rich person. It's like, nope, she earned it. Absolutely. 100%. So yeah. And people don't even know all the staff involved with putting on a show. I mean, think about the person that climbs up to do the lights way up top and all that rigging and stuff like that. So they all got nice tips, and Taylor's a pretty good person as far as we can tell. But $2 billion, that's going to be a tough one to top by anybody else ever. Yeah.
She is an icon. All right.
Yes.
Teach you how to blow your nose correctly.
I didn't know I was blowing my nose wrongly.
Here's the thing. It became this whole thing became a trend after CNN did a story on it about how blowing your nose the wrong way can make your cold symptoms worse.
Okay.
And according to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, forceful excessive blowing your nose can lead to backward pressure that pushes mucus into your sinuses. So they did this with 2,000 people. They injected a special dye to track people's to track people's mucus after blowing their nose. And when they blew too hard or too often, it showed the dye retracting back into their sinuses. So they've got some pretty substantial research on this. It damages your blood vessels. It can cause nosebleeds, sinus infections, headaches. In rare cases, it can rupture eardrum or orbital fractures. So this doesn't mean that this is what the article said. It doesn't mean that you should let snot roll down your nose or down your face. Just you need to clear your nose like nostrils very gently. Like blow your nose gently and one side at a time. Very, very gently. Not like I full on like get that stuff out.
I didn't know there was a way to blow your nose without doing it one nostril at a time. You just and the whole thing come out. I think that I'm a single nostriler and have been my whole life.
Well, I think that mostly it is single nostril. However, for me, I try to get it out in one big swoop. Like let's just one big blow and get it all out. No.
Well, it also goes on to talk about
blows.
how neti pots, and which I didn't, I don't know how I went most of my life without knowing what a neti pot was or did. A few years ago is when I got one, and that works. You know, you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Pour water in one side of my nose is going to drain out the other, but
You use
love
it?
that
I was
stuff.
going to ask you if you used a neti pot to clear out your nose ever.
Mm-hmm.
I would never. Even they say it's like you feel like you're waterboarding yourself to get clear nostrils.
Oh, I'm like, I can't wait. Not like on a daily basis, but when you're congested, absolutely. So
All right. Well,
now
there
we
you
know
go.
how to blow your nose correctly.
Gentle blowing. I don't know what she said. I said.
I'll just let you laugh at that. Are you entertaining yourself?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. The professions we found, and I disagree. I think we both disagree with some of these. This is professions that were once highly respected, but now not so much. So let's get underway here with people online. We're talking about this. Although they said these were professions that were highly respected, but now are considered a complete joke, which I disagree that they're not complete jokes. And in some cases, it's just sad that they're not more highly regarded.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I'm sad that some of these professions are actually on this list.
Okay, so, and this is not the entire list, but part of the list is people say used to be highly respected, now not so much. Retail, mostly for wage reasons. And a bank teller, someone said it used to be a foot in the door to the finance industry. Now it's basically a 20-something credit card salesperson.
I mean, and you don't really, I mean, I haven't seen a bank teller and I can't even tell you how long.
Been a long time. Now they have astrologer on this list, but it used to be respected, quote unquote, I think way, way, way back in the day when, when the royals would go to their astrologer to find out things.
This next one makes me really sad. Teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Complete lack of respect by governments, parents, and kids. It's astonishing. That's what it says there. And
I have seen things. Well, you're a mom, but I've seen things where parents get involved, and oh, my little kid, he couldn't do anything wrong. It's like, no, he did do something wrong, and don't go, I mean, in my day, I mean, you would get in trouble at school, and then they notify your parents, and you get in trouble at home. There was no getting around it.
Yeah, it's sad. Wedding photographers went from being preservers of real joyful moments to content creators that manufacture those authentic moments for likes and bride-fluencers.
Yeah, there's a new word I hadn't heard too. Bride-fluencers. Journalists. Yeah. Somewhere along the way, journalists stopped being about delivering the news in a timely manner, started being about getting clicks and being the first to report something. They even said that goes on to include news anchors that make the news more about them and their takes on whatever they're reporting on.
I kind of feel like that's what's been happening lately with news.
Yep.
Politicians, including the president, if they were even ever respected.
Working for an airline, they say, used to be an admirable, classy job. Now it's embarrassing as airlines treat people like cattle. Now, I wonder if that's just because there's so many people traveling. How do you simplify that? It's like, I'm not saying treat people like cattle, but there's just it's amazing they get as many people through as they do, if you ask me.
Yeah, seriously.
Mhm.
These next two, Curt, these are the ones where you and I were like, what?
Yeah,
Truck driving and mail carriers.
right.
Listen, these are the people that carry our goods to get to the stores so that we can purchase them. And they're the people that allow us to order from Amazon.
Right. Yeah, and both of those jobs are probably overworked and underpaid too, which is part of what they say on this list here. Um, and then the final thing on here, do you want to throw this in? Of course you do. It says one person said, the real question is, are there professions left that people do respect? And someone said firefighters.
I mean, I am dating a firefighter.
Right. And I'm
Uh,
sure there's more than just firefighters left that people respect, but that's a big one. So it is kind of sad to hear some of those, but maybe
yeah.
maybe we can start by giving those people more respect, right?
I mean, giving respect is not hard, and it's free.
Yes. Just give a smile or something. There you go.
And a thank you. Oh, and
Candy cane.
I,
That's Sia, Candy Cane Lane, yeah?
what's the deal?
The deal is candy canes are now at the point where they're being used more as decorations than food. Although I wonder how they qualify as food, you know.
Well,
Yes, it's edible. But in this, actually, I have an example from this past weekend. But let's get into this. The 2 weeks from Christmas now, if you've bought your candy canes yet, and will they be eaten? You know, you hang them on the tree there, right? Or you set them out for people to have. And I think they get eaten in this house. What about you, Jen?
we don't have any. I mean, at Macy, my daughter does not love them.
Okay.
But I'll eat one. I like them.
Well, now they've done a study, of course. Brock's Candy did this study. They found the tradition is, of course, 90% percent of people agree that candy canes are a holiday tradition. But now it's slanted a little bit. 60% of people use candy canes as decorations. About 55 sometimes eat them as a treat. So it's pretty equally split, but still.
Yeah.
Overall, we are pro candy cane, though. It says like 80% feel nostalgia for them. 7 in 10 say they're refreshing. And about 3/4 say they're delicious. And maybe they help with your breath, right?
Yeah. Just over half of people said peppermint is their favorite holiday flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yes. And
Candy
who doesn't like candy canes? Macy?
Macy. What else is new though? She doesn't like a lot of food.
Well, yeah, but I mean, peppermints, that can be kind of, I don't know.
Spicy.
Yes,
That's what
that's
she
the
used to
word,
call it.
spicy, I
Spicy.
guess. Ready for this one?
I am. I want to hear it. You know, I'm all about caring.
There are studies for everything and polls and what have you. And this one was to find the most caring city in the United States, the most caring city. And they compared, this is Wallet Hub that did this. They compared the 100 largest cities across 38 key indicators to find a compassionate spirit score. Criteria include cities that donate a lot of money to charity, having high volunteer rates. Also, residents display their care for others by working in professions that help others, like teaching, social work, and firefighting, that kind of stuff. So, with all that in mind, here are the top most caring cities in the U.S.
Okay.
Number 3 was Boston, Massachusetts. Number 2, Scottsdale. We do like Scottsdale.
I love Scottsdale.
Yeah. And the most caring city in America is Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to say maybe Seattle. I don't think that we're that caring. Where did we fall though?
24. Seattle is the 24th most caring city, but we did beat Portland. They were number 30. And isn't that what it's always about? As long as we do better than Portland.
I guess so. There we go.
Most caring cities. I do like that, you know, and I think they also consider things like low crime rates and what have you. But it'd be nice to be considered the most caring city, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's one of your favorites, isn't it?
I like that one.
Well, that's because we have how many Americans think that they're a bad driver. This is based on percentages, not like the numbers of how many people.
What would you
think
say, Curt, about you? Like, would you say you're a good driver?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think everybody's like, well, yeah, I'm a good driver. Everybody else sucks, but I'm a good driver. Well, if everybody thinks that they're a good driver and they think everybody else sucks, somebody has got some misinformation there.
Right, because I want to know why there's so many idiots on the road.
I'm a super polite driver. I just because, you know, I rode motorcycles for a long time, and I think that puts you in a position of being aware that, hey, you know, everybody's just trying to get to their destination. Let's all work together. If somebody wants to merge, go ahead, let them. It's not that big of a deal. I don't get very aggressive. What about you, Jen?
I would not say I'm the best driver because I tend to have a lead foot.
Mm,
Um, and I get annoyed with people that don't do it like what you're saying. Like, yeah, let people merge, but also get over if you have an empty lane so that
yeah.
people can merge.
It's pretty easy, honestly, to look around and consider, oh, this person's having difficulty. They want to merge. All right, I'll slow down a little bit or
Yes, it
whatever.
requires looking ahead and planning ahead.
Right.
That's
Well, in this new poll,
another
people were
poll.
asked about the average driving ability of people in their state. So we do have that they actually, the number of people that think that they're a bad driver, by the way, is only 3%.
Okay.
97% of people think that they're a good driver. Now, as far as your state goes, um, 9% of people said on average their state has excellent drivers.
Hmm.
Only 9%? Well, I guess that makes sense because we think everybody else is bad.
Yeah. I mean, you think
12%
it,
say
yeah.
the average driver in their state is poor, which I thought was the worst, but apparently another 5% say the average driver is terrible. That
Okay.
doesn't say a whole lot.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As I read more of this, I'm like, well, all this is doing is saying what we agreed with.
Be considerate is the bottom line. Be
Now,
considerate.
what's going on here? So we had I'm just going to not start over again, but here it says 47% said that they are excellent drivers, and 26% said that they are good drivers. So I don't know. This data does not seem to add up as far as I'm concerned, but it just goes to show rather that we all think that we're great drivers, and we all can't be right this time, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Maybe we just take turns. Oh, you were mentioning this, Curt, and I'm like, we have to put this in the show because I think this is super interesting.
Well, you said I'm all for this except for one part. I
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, I can't believe that this is why they're doing what they're doing. And I'm talking about Tokyo
Yeah.
adopting a 4-day work week. But
Why?
oh, because they care about their workers and that's a great idea. And then
Maybe they have good work-life balance.
Curt said, nope, that's not why, Jen. It's to encourage women to have more babies.
Yep. The Tokyo metropolitan government will implement a 4-day work week for its employees. This starts in April of next year. So they'll get 3-day weekends every week and more family-friendly options because Japan's fertility rate is plummeting to a record low of 1.2. And a fertility rate of 2.1 evidently is needed for a stable population. So they're saying, you know what? 4-day work weeks so you can have more kids.
Okay.
Is that going to work?
I'll take the 4-day work week. I'm not having more babies.
Exactly. You say,
But,
oh, right.
but it
Have a
doesn't
3-day
matter. We don't live
weekend.
in Tokyo, so that doesn't matter.
The 4-day, yeah. But I did think it was interesting, like you said, it's not to keep workers from getting burned out. They just want to have more babies.
Yeah.
Right.
I always am amazed by social media trends.
Okay.
And there's this new trend called airport rules for everyday life. So it's airport rules. So the whole idea is that like eating pizza for breakfast, having a drink at any hour, wearing pajamas all day. These are things that really get away with when you go to the airport, right? Because
Those are airport rules right there. I hadn't thought about that because when you said, I was like, what, keep your shoes on the plane? I don't
no,
know. But this airports.
yeah, when you're at the airport, really anything goes. You know, oh, you're at the airport for an early flight. Let's have a
Mm-hmm.
drink. When would you normally have a drink that early in the morning? So it's really all about like treating yourself and ignoring all the other things that you normally would do for
Well, it
your
says here,
routine.
like, ignore diets, fitness, and other normal routines. Anything does really go. So
It's to
you can't live your whole life like this, right?
it's to cope with everyday annoyances. So like during the election, people
Mm.
were on social media like I don't know, this gal had like pizza, mac and cheese, and wine. And she's like, airport rules. I'm waiting for the election results and airport rules. So they're declaring on social media. People will go on and declare this is
That's kind of awesome.
an airport rules day. It kind
Right.
of is, right?
Is that sort of like the people that say it's 5 o'clock somewhere for drinking?
I mean, I guess, but I
Right.
kind of like the idea and the whole phrase airport rules.
So having to drink a drink in the middle of the day, caffeine and energy drinks at any time, comfy clothes like pajamas. This is all part of the quote unquote airport rules.
Escape your reality for a little bit and go with airport rules. There
They're
you
saying as
go.
we head into the holidays, this trend could definitely have legs as far as that goes. And that's
Yeah.
probably true. I
Yep.
like it.
Yep, I do too.
Pop-Tarts for dinner, right?
If you want, airport
Okay.
rules. This response on this blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We asked you, what's something you collect?
Yeah.
And
Pretty
you
simple.
showed up with a lot of different things.
True. Something you collect. And do you have something to kick off with here that we're going to say that you, Jen Pierak, that you collect?
I love Jackie's answer a lot, by the way.
Okay.
I would say, glassy babies. And I
Mm-hmm.
also collect the Swarovski annual ornaments that are snowflakes. I collect
Right.
those. Yep, those are the two things I collect.
And I think that there's only one behind me, but I have an okay guitar collection. I kind of honestly look at them like art. I hang the guitars around the place, and fortunately, my wife agrees.
How many do you have?
What's that?
How many guitars do you have? Yes.
30.
Oh, okay.
Is that a lot?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, not out of control. But
All right.
you,
Yeah, here's what you said.
you're talking about your roommate Jackie. She says, okay, something that you collect. Jackie says, I collect amazing friends, and I have the best collection.
And Flannery said something similar. She collects the best people she can find.
Right. Okay. How about Heather with dragonfly things? This is gonna, we're gonna find out what people are into as far as she collects dragonfly things, and Marilyn collects rubber ducks.
Okay. And John collects tools, and Eric, I liked his answer. He collects regret.
Oh man, regrets.
It's kind of
Our
funny.
friend Ken, Hallmark holiday car ornaments. He included a picture of his tree with nothing but little car ornaments on it. And then Becky's similar nostalgic house and shops ornaments from Hallmark. That's what she gets.
He's also a big UW fan. I think she also collects UW stuff.
Okay.
Rondi collects hearts. She has an entire tree. She posted this if you want to see a picture of it. It is stunning. She has a picture of an entire glass heart tree.
Hearts collection. Janelle, anything from I Love Lucy. There's a unique one. And then Jennifer says, I collect clutter and then playing cards on vacation. Okay.
Jenny says skulls of my enemies.
You know what, Jenny? If you have enough skulls of your enemies, you can like chain them together and wear them around your neck.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty bulky though. Shanine says mini versions of pretty much anything. I love miniatures.
That's Shannon. Shannon said that.
Shannon?
Shannon, yeah.
All right.
Anthony said egg beater style drills. Brett said old baseball cards. Meredy, refrigerator magnets from places I've traveled.
Yep. How about Eric? New family members and scotch. New family members and also scotch.
Now,
okay.
Now James said flies, and I actually replied to him, and I don't think I got a reply back yet. I'm like, as in like fishing flies or something else?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he does actually collect flies. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know either.
Sierra says she collects cups. Brian, we know Brian, autographed baseballs. That's a cool one. And then back on the scotch train.
Yep.
We have Randy scotch. And I definitely take them out of the package and play with them. Unlike people that collect things and keep them. I get it. Good one, Randy.
Heather said heart-shaped rocks and ex-boyfriends. Like that, Heather. Laurel said nativity scenes. Jeanette, she's my Spark Hot Yoga buddy. Glassy babies. We have a love for glassy babies. We share that together. And Sonia said dust. She collects dust.
Both Carrie and Cindy. There are a lot of people that said Christmas ornaments, and specifically Christmas ornaments from trips that they've been on. Andrea says snowmen. And then we have our friend Andrew, a.k.a. Durandi. Do we need to say more?
He collects all things, and I mean all things. Duran. He has so many things, in fact, that he has like a storage unit.
Yeah.
Where you can actually tour like all the things that he has in his archives.
He's written a coffee table book about Duran stuff, and he's friends with the band. Anytime they come to Seattle, like, oh, hey, man. So, yeah, he is that is the definition of a hardcore collector right there.
Fanatic, yeah.
Halsey says, I collect books and mugs and Christmas decor. And Amanda, vinyl records. Good for you, Amanda.
All right. And rounding out the list of people that responded, Amy, dimes and pennies from heaven. Leslie said houseplants. Barb said pennies and $2 bills. She also said Lee Bien ornaments for her grandchildren. And then Pat said drum sets and percussion instruments.
Love it. So you guys, it's a very thorough list and not a lot of repeats.
No, not.
Yeah, I liked it. Still up there. If you want to let us know what you collect, we would be happy to hear from you. Things that you collect. All right.
Okay. I was doing a little show prep, reading some articles, and this headline caught my attention. This one activity can greatly reduce the risk of heart problems. Then it proceeds to go into all the ways that traveling benefits your heart health. And it's explained by cardiologists. It's like the real deal. So in short, I'm going to make this short. If done right, travel reduces stress. It encourages physical activity. It gets you in nature, and it might actually get you in cleaner, fresher environments.
Wow.
That is all the end. Go to do more traveling. I'm a
huge
proponent of travel.
This will be I'm interested to see what's in here because you threw this in here, Jen, and it sounds super interesting to me. Things that happened for the first time in the year 2024. And this, I guess, came from the New York Times. They listed a bunch of stuff that happened for the first time ever in this year.
Well, I wanted to mention they have a list of 24 things, and I haven't gone to revisit that. I'm going to go there to New York Times and look at their full list because there's interesting stuff here. Like, here's a few things that happened for the first time in 2024. Scientists detected water on an asteroid surface.
All right, right.
The parents were charged and convicted in a mass school shooting.
That's true. That was in the Detroit area. Yeah.
You're going to go with more? Are you want to?
How about a pig kidney that was successfully transplanted into a human? I did not hear about this.
I didn't either.
But there's a pig. Somebody's walking around here with a pig kidney inside him.
And I also love this, that a street taco stand in Mexico got a Michelin star rating.
How cool is that?
I love it, and I want to go visit it.
That's like the best taco stand in the whole world then. Saudi Arabia hosted a swimsuit fashion show for the first time in 2024. What else we got?
Donald Trump became the oldest person elected president, eclipsing current President Joe Biden. And I thought this was funny. They said for now, because if 100-year-old Jimmy Carter can hang on, maybe Democrats can nominate him for a second term in 2028.
He'd be 104? Okay, that's possible.
I love this next one.
Scientists observed an orangutan treating itself with medicinal herbs in the wild. So somehow this orangutan, or the orangutans in general, have figured out, hey, this is good for me. I'm going to have some more of this. Or maybe it makes me a little buzzed. Who knows?
You know who's going to love that one is our friend Lori, because she truly believes that we can get what we need from nature. Our bodies that's all there.
There's a lot of truth to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about breaking? Oh, we knew this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Breakdancing. Okay, breaking made its Olympic debut. It was short-lived. It won't return for the 2028 games in Los Angeles. I guess there was a huge bunch of people saying, yeah, that's not really a sport. And of course there was I'm missing a name. What was it again? Ray gun. Ray gun was the Australian. Yeah, that was interesting.
And then a father and son duo played in an NBA game. Do you know who that was?
Yeah, it would have been LeBron James and Bronny, right?
Yeah. So for the first time ever, they played on the same team, debuting, on an NBA game.
How about that?
I know. I love all that. And I'm anxious to see the rest of them, the rest of the list. We just
Well, I'm sure if you want to look into it more, it's what would you just Google things that happened for the first time in 2024, right?
New York Post. Yeah. Was it New York Post or Times? Hold on.
I already started the music. Sorry.
Okay, it was the New York Times. New York Times, not the
New York Times had that. Okay.
This the Curt and Jen podcast question of the day.
That's true.
I like this one. I hope that we get some really awesome answers. And
well,
the question is what?
Yes. The best Christmas bonus or gift, all right? The best Christmas bonus or gift you've ever received from an employer.
Do you have one? I don't.
You know what? Honestly, usually it was like a Starbucks card or something. I mean, I was always just happy to get something. I never worked at I never worked for all I've done is radio since I was like 17. So I never worked for I never got like a cash or anything like that. I don't think.
No, what about you? It's more like a ham or like you said, like maybe a small gift card. Remember when we got a blanket, we got a little cooler. Oh, you know what? You know what I loved? Remember Gary Greenberg, our boss, who I love and adore, he got us those Yeti mugs, those Yeti coffee mugs.
Oh yeah, you're right. I actually I still have that.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, hot firefighter boyfriend Pat uses mine all the time. He loves it.
Well, you got to get it back from him. That's your Yeti mug. Jeez, okay.
So that's your
That's what we're
question
looking
of the
for.
day. We'll post it on Facebook, Curt and Jen in the morning on Facebook. If you don't already like or follow us, please do that.
Yes. And
There
that's
you
about
go.
it for
That was a
today.
lot of stuff. That was a lot of stuff that we covered today.
Crammed a bunch of stuff in there, and we appreciate it as always. Thank you so much for listening and viewing.
Have an awesome day today. Make good choices. Find joy. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.